Hello students, welcome to the time classes. In the series of questions which we are doing from this material aimcat essay 2404, let's do another question from this material here. Okay, now let's see this question here. Okay, it reads, in an exam, the scores of A, D and E are in ratio 8:12:13. Okay, ratio is a comparison of different items. Here we are comparing the scores of A, D and E, which is given as a ratio 8:12:13 here. Further it reads, the scores of B, C and E are in ratio 11:2, 9:7 here. Now further it reads, either B or C scored 117 marks here. The maximum score that one can get in the exam is 200 marks. If all the scores are integers, find the difference between the highest and the lowest scores of the 5. Okay, so what we know is, okay, there is a comparison of scores here. Okay, first ratio between A, D and E, and next ratio is given, okay, between B, C and E here. Okay, the score, either B or C actually is scoring a 117 here. Okay, with these details, let's try to understand, okay, what we could have found it. Okay, now please see, okay, here we are talking about the scores of, okay, if you have 5 people here, that is A, B, C, D and E here. 5 people are there here. Okay, first one it reads this one. It's comparing the scores of A, D and E in ratio 8:12:13 here. Okay, so here what we can tell here is, okay, if the score of A is say 8x here, okay, score of D will be 12x and score of E will be equal to 13x here. Okay, now further it says this one, the ratio of scores of B, C, E is 11:2, 9:2, 7 here. Okay, so B actually, if it is equal to 11y here, okay, C can be equal to how much? It is 9y, and E can be equal to how much? It is 7y here. Okay, 11:2, 9:2, 7 here. It is for B, C and E here. Okay, what we have to understand is the scores are given in integers. The scores are given in integers. So A's score here must be a multiple of 8. B's score must be a multiple of 11. C's score must be a multiple of 9. D should be a multiple of 12, and again E's score here must be a multiple of a 13 as well as a multiple of a 7 here. Okay, now you choose here. What is that number here which is both a multiple of a 13 and a multiple of a 7 here? Okay, 13 into 7 here, how much is it? It is 91. Okay, so combining these two here, okay, combining these two parts here, we can tell this one. Let the score of E actually be equal to how much? It is equal to 91k. Let me consider this one k here in terms of k here. Okay, so here score of E, which must be a multiple of a 13 and also must be a multiple of 7 here, I'm going to choose this one. Okay, let the score of E be equal to 91k here. Okay, so now what does it mean here? Okay, here 13 into how much will equal 91? It is 13 into 7 here. Okay, so here we have to understand. Okay, so D's score actually will be equal to how much? It is 12 into a 7 here. 12 into a 7, how much? It is 84 here. So here we are going to tell this one, the score of D will be equal to how much? It is equal to 84k here. Okay, this is equal to 84k here. Similarly, the score of A will be equal to 8 into a 7. 7 into how much? It is 56 here. So here I can tell this one, it is equal to 56k here. Similarly, also observe from the next ratio here, what do we have this one? Okay, instead of 7 by here, we are going to take this one 91k here. Okay, so what now here? We are going to multiply this one with a 13 here. Okay, 7 into a 13 will give me how much? It is 91 here. So now observe. So what about this one? It is B's score can be said as 13 into 11, which is equal to 143 here. 143k here. Let me write it that way. Okay, next one. What about the score of C here? It reads 9. Okay, this is 9 into a 13 here. 90 plus how much? 27 here. 90 plus a 27 here. Okay, that is equal to 117 and a k here. So what we now know here? We know this one, the scores of all these people here, okay, are something like this here. 56k for A here, 143 for B here, and so on. This is said to be the finding the compound ratio from the given two ratios here. Okay, from the given two ratios, okay, we are combining these two and finding the compound ratio here. Okay, comparing the scores of all the 5 people here. Okay, now one more point. What we know, the scores are there in integers. Point number 1, the scores are there in integers. Next one, it also says this one, the maximum score that one can get is 200. Okay, the maximum score one can get is 200. Furthermore, we know either B or C must be scoring how much? It is 117. Let us understand these ones. See here, maximum score is 200 when you are telling here. Observe what values can K take here. Okay, since all the numbers are in integers, K also must be an integer. Okay, now observe, in possibilities here, one may think like this, what if k can be equal to a 0 or a 1 or a 2 or a 3 and so on. Okay, but one point we know is the maximum score actually is equal to 200. That is, nobody scores more than 200, right? Please observe, if I take k is equal to 2, if I take k is equal to 2, this part here is going to exceed 200, right? So hence we can tell this one, k cannot be equal to 2. In the same manner, k cannot be any number more than 2 also here. So hence k cannot be 2 or any other number. Same manner. Let us see here, can k be equal to 0? If k is equal to 0 here, all the numbers actually will be equal to 0. Okay, that is completely invalid. So hence we'll tell k cannot be equal to 0 here. So what is the valid number for k? We have the only number which we are having is 1. Okay, only number which you have for k is equal to how much? It is 1. So that's it. If you know that k is equal to 1, you know the scores of this ones here. Okay, how much is A scoring? It is 56. How much is B scoring? It is 143 here. How much does C score here? That is 117. Next one is 84, and for the next, E is going to score how much? It is 80. E is going to score 91 here, right? And also it satisfies this condition here, which says like this: either B or C scores how much? It is 117 here. Okay, definitely true. We see this one. C is actually scoring 117, right? It satisfies the given conditions. Now, with this values known to us, now we can answer the question. What is it asking? If all the scores are integers, find the difference between highest and the lowest scores of the 5 here. Clearly, we can see this one. Among all these ones, what is this? It is 143, which is the highest here, and 56 is the lowest here. Right now, among all these ones here, we see this one, 143 is the highest here, and 56 actually is the lowest here. So hence, the question is asking to find the difference between these ones here. It is 143 minus of how much? It is 56 here. Right? Okay, do calculate this one. How much is this here? Okay, this is 7 here. Here it is 3 here. So 8, 5 is 13. That's it. So hence we can tell the difference of this one is 87. That is the answer to this particular question here. Clear? Okay. Okay, that is the answer to this question. That is a question here in this ratios here. Okay.